My favourite Virat Kohli test moment would be his first test century in Adelaide, January 2012. I mean, that was a time when India wasn't very sure if Virat was the future, but MS Dhoni had persisted with him on a difficult tour. And the very fact that he scored a 70 in Perth and then a century in Adelaide reinforced the fact that he could be the one who could translate into being the Superman. He was a super boy, but he became a Superman after that Australia tour.
I have two favorite Virat Kohli test moments, and these are two centuries that I'm picking from the 2700s that he scored in his test career so far. And one is of course the 2014 Adelaide 100. In fact, he scored hundreds in both the innings, but what he did in that test match was that he set the tone for things to come. The legacy that Virat was to leave as a test skipper and also as a batsman. And the other one is the Edgbaston 100. Everybody was talking about whether Virat Kohli would be able to replicate his success that he's seen in the other countries, or something that he had seen in 2014. A miserable tour for Virat Kohli, but when he returned to England in 2018, he started with a magnificent 160 odd runs in the first innings. Of course, India lost that test match, similar to what happened in 2014 also. So both these knocks, they had a few similarities, but they also set the tone and established in 2014, and then Virat Kohli re-established what test cricket meant to him and what he could do to attacks that had Mitchell Johnson in Australia in 2014 and James Anderson, Stuart Broad in 2018.
My favourite Virat Kohli moment from test matches is the first test match that Virat captained. Of course, he was not the designated captain on that occasion because Mahendra Singh Dhoni had an hand injury, and because of which Virat was given captaincy temporarily for that test match in Adelaide. Who was to know that a little later during that series he would become India's permanent test captain, because MS Dhoni was going to give up. But before that, let me not get ahead of myself. Let's talk about that moment. That comes from the Adelaide test of 2014. I remember it was the first test match of the series and Virat Kohli comes out to bat and Mitchell Johnson hits him with a stinging bouncer. Virat gets hit. You can see that he's taken a massive hit on his head, on his helmet. But after that, while most batsmen would crumble, Virat comes out fighting in typical counter-attacking fashion, hammers Mitchell Johnson and the other bowlers. Ryan Harris comes to my mind, some beautiful cover drives, and gets 115 in the first innings. But that is not it for the test match. It's the second innings which was even better than that, where he went on to get more than 140 runs, another century, back-to-back century. And remember, on that occasion, India, I think, were chasing 363. And on one day, nobody gave India a chance, but the way Virat Kohli came out batting, unfortunately for him, nobody else gave him support in the Indian batting order. But for a moment you thought that 363 runs, not only was it a big target, but to chase it in one day seemed possible only because of the fine batting that Virat Kohli did. So for me, that test match from Adelaide, the first that Virat played as captain of the Indian team, is the standout moment. And here's wishing him all the best for his 100th test.